How are you guys doing? Today is Friday, September 24th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to use this episode to preview the second round for the 2021 WNBA playoff picture. And as I previewed the first round, I'm going to just take what went down in the first round and, of course, lay out how that sets up this next round of the WNBA playoff picture. So originally coming into this bracket, there were 8 teams, and there is sort of a knockout process to already eliminate 4 teams after 2 rounds to make sure that they get straight to the semifinal round, because once they make it to the semifinal round, it's a best of 5 series. But before they get there, it's a pair of knockout games that you have to get through. So looking at the first round and how that fared out, in the very first game, the Chicago Sky, who came into this matchup with the 6th seed, faced off against the 7th seed Dallas Wings. And in this game, the Chicago Sky would advance past the Dallas Wings after beating them 81-64, thanks to a first quarter where they went on to outscore Dallas by 15 in the first half. Dallas would outscore Chicago by 10 in the third, but then Chicago would outscore them by 12 in the fourth quarter. So with this win, they were led by Candace Parker's 11 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. And at the same time, their Kalia Copper would lead the way with 23 points of her own. Following this win, the Chicago Sky were the first team now were able to advance, and because they were the 6th seed, they're going to face off against the Minnesota Lynx, who came into this playoff picture with the 3rd seed. And then looking at the other matchup that took place yesterday, the Phoenix Mercury, who came into this matchup with the 5th seed, faced off against the 8th seed New York Liberty. This game was actually closer than the other one, as the Mercury would win this game 83-82 in a game that came down to the very end. For New York, it would be close but no cigar. Phoenix would be led by their guard out of Notre Dame, Skylar Diggins-Smith. She had 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And then off the bench, they were led by Sophie Cunningham, who had 21 points, 18 of those points coming from 3-pointers that she made. Also, Brittany Griner had 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists, as well as 3 blocks. So that is how Phoenix Mercury made it here. And because Phoenix came in as the highest seed that actually played out of the first seed teams. Had they won, they would have automatically had to play the Seattle Storm, and they were able to do so. So that is how these teams got here. So now looking at the matchups that are going to take place on Saturday. The first game that's going to take place is going to be at 3 o'clock on ABC, as the 4th seed in the WNBA Seattle Storm are going to face off against the 5th seed Phoenix Mercury. Mercury coming into this matchup being led by Brittany Griner, who came into the season leading the team in points and rebounds, and also Skylar Diggins-Smith led the team in assists. The Seattle Storm are led by Brianna Stewart, the UConn Phenom, and of course Sue Bird, the USA basketball legend. So that game is going to be, it's going to be a very big one, as Seattle finished the season 2 games ahead of Phoenix in the rankings. And the winner of this game will get a chance to face off against either the Connecticut Sun or the Las Vegas Aces, and it depends on who wins the second game in this matchup. The second game of this matchup the second game that's going to be taking place on Sunday will be taking place between the 3rd seed Minnesota Lynx and the 6th seed Chicago Sky. The Minnesota Lynx coming in are going to be led by their starting forward, Nafisa Collier. She came into this matchup averaging 16 points a game, and leading the team in assists per game, averaging 3.2. And Chicago being led by Candace Parker and of course Copper and Courtney Vandersloot. Vandersloot coming in averaging 8.6 assists per game. The this game will determine the seeding basically because it is the 3rd versus 6th matchup, basically meaning if the Minnesota Lynx were to win this matchup, then they would face off against the number 1 Connecticut Sun. And if the Minnesota Lynx were to win this matchup, they would automatically have to face off against the Las Vegas Aces. But of course, that is why these matchups are so important. And because they are single elimination games, that's what makes it even more important. So of course, a lot of eyes are going to be drawn to that game, and that is how the second round is going to be playing out. I want to thank everyone for following along with me up until this point. And following this, I will preview the semifinal round once this single elimination matchup has been played. Thanks once again for listening to all 5.5 minutes of this piece. I want to thank ESPN, Wikipedia for helping me understand how the bracket works. I want to thank the WNBA website as well. And I apologize if I butchered any names for this, but I do plan on eventually getting them right. I want to thank everyone for listening to all 6 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well. As I said earlier, today is Friday, September 24th, 2021. I hope all is well, and once all of today's matchups and exhibitions are done, I will be back tomorrow as soon as I can for another episode of The Elite. So until then, thanks once again. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace out.